Welcome back, Ranger Nation, to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Beast Morphers Episode 5, Cruisin for Bruising. Now, if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. And without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. We open up on the episode with the Rangers training, shooting Tronics with their blasters. Devon suggests that the person that doesn't hit any of the Tronics will actually buy the smoothies at the bar. And then everyone's kind of on board for that. They're throwing in their kind of like digs in and stuff like that. I think I really like Steele's kind of response the best out of all of this. With all the targets being hit, they're a little bit disappointed that they need something a lot harder. So therefore Cruz brings in a Tronic on kind of a Segway or a hoverboard or whatever it is. And they kind of, it starts moving quite quickly. The Rangers can't blast it because it's moving, as I say, too quickly. So they all start complaining, saying it's impossible. But with this, Cruz actually shows that you can hit the actual target. He just takes his time, and when he fires, it actually short circuits the Tronic to actually kind of slowly start going out of the training room. Devon is so impressed with what Cruz has done, he actually says that he should join the team out in the field because it will be a big help. So Cruz kind of goes along with it. Nate doesn't really think this is a good idea because beast bots aren't actually designed for combat. So as they're kind of talking about it, the Tronic has actually now left the training room completely. Devon says if we give Cruz some weapons, we can field test him and stuff like that. And we can also like get him some training. And Nate reluctantly goes, okay on this one. We then switch to Ben and Betty, and what they're doing is they're cleaning up, they're mopping, they're kind of complaining. They see the Tronic and they instantly think that a Tronic has kind of infiltrated the base. So therefore they kind of catch it. Now it's not really moving that fast. And I think that what Ben does is, because he throws this like rope around it or this cable and then kind of like drags it off or tries to, but it just kind of pulls them along, like it gets faster. And obviously this is sped up footage, but to be honest, like it wasn't very believable. It just felt like, you know, if that they're very, very light and nothing happens. So it just kind of gets a bit, I would imagine if the thing was going super fast, then it would pull them along. But, you know, having two people, that Tronic would have just fallen off the hoverboard. So I didn't kind of like this scene that much. As they crash, they kind of get the idea of if they turn it into a worker droid, that their life will be a little bit easier. So they turn it into like kind of a mop thing, or they're going to. We now come to the cyber dimension with Digitron is the main bad guy of this one. Squazzle is really happy, and Blaze and Roxy are kind of going like, kind of all about it. They don't know what he can do. Squazzle explains that Digitron can take the any technology and put it inside him, for making him stronger. And you kind of think, okay, that's actually a really cool ability. Again, all the monsters or the Trons in this entire season all have really unique powers, and if they don't go into Evox at the very end of the season, I am going to be very disappointed because so far we have amazing things so far. We then come to Grid Battle Force, and Nate gives Cruz these kind of blasters that look like wheels. They do look kind of cool, and it says that, you know, they can be used as a shield as well as a weapon. And then all of a sudden the Rangers get called downtown to fight Digitron. Nate actually pulls Devon aside and goes, look, you know, should actually Cruz be out there? And Devon turns around and goes, actually, yeah, he should be, you know, we can use this. But Nate says, well, what about training? You know, we've got to get him kind of all ready. And Devon kind of really dismisses this and goes like, oh, he's a great shot. Now, this kind of really annoys me because you generally think that if you're going to go, yeah, all the time, when someone says, oh, we should do this, we should do that, you should actually follow through with it. Because to me, it just kind of feels that you're not taking in consideration what the others have thought. And with Nate being a weapon specialist and actually creating these things and the beast bots, he knows exactly what's going on. So for me, this kind of like made me think Devon's still growing as a leader, but he shouldn't be. He should be listening to his teammates, because we all had that in the first season where he obviously didn't listen, and therefore he does now. So it kind of feels like it's just excitement. I can understand that he wants to get his friend out there. If his friend's not ready, then, you know, that's going to be a big problem. Digitron is now downtown, and he is absorbing technology from a laptop to a Segway, and then the Rangers kind of meet up. They want to stop him, and a huge fight goes out. As they morph, they obviously say the catchphrase, which is unleash the beast, and then suddenly Cruz just goes and unleash the beast bot. and I find it a tiny bit cringy, just because it's just, I think the way that maybe Cruz is saying this, for me, I probably would have jumped in and gone, and the Beast Bod, and gone that way, rather than doing a whole thing where he's posing. I just, on this one. The Rangers all start fighting, and I've got to admit, Cruz does take care of himself quite well. But even though he has to call on Devon so that he can take out some of the Tronics, so he can actually clear a path. Now, one thing I am wholeheartedly really disappointed in is the fact that Cruz doesn't do a spinning attack, like just spins around blasting, because that would have been awesome. He could have had something like his, was it like being able to lock onto all people and then spin and fire? That would have been perfect, but such a big missed opportunity. So Digitron runs towards Cruz, and he doesn't want him to kind of fight anymore, so he starts absorbing him into it, and you get the Tony Stark Spider-Man moment where I just kind of thought, Mr. Daniels, I don't feel so good, or Devon, I don't feel so good, and then just gets absorbed into Digitron. Because Devon has seen this, he was actually kind of held back by Tronics. I don't know why he didn't use his super speed to get kind of out there, but he actually tries to fight Digitron. It doesn't work. He ties him up with a cable, but Digitron just literally just teleports out. Back at Grid Battle Force, Devon is angry and upset that he let Cruz get taken like that. When Nate says like, oh, you know, I should have been more suggestive with the training, Devon admits that he was wrong, and therefore he should have turned around and, you know, been more kind of like understanding and put Cruz through that, which I do agree with. As the Rangers start kind of think, Devon comes up with the idea of what happens if they could combine their Beast Bots with themselves, because when Digitron absorbed and took in Cruz, he gained more power, thus therefore he was a lot stronger. So they start kind of brainstorming and then come up with the idea. Then they put it together to actually form the plan. In the Cyber Dimension, really quickly, Scruzzle is boasting how good he is, what he's done. And you know, you can see Blaze and Roxy hating this. If it's not about them, they don't care. Then they turn around to say, Digitron, hey, you need to get down there, absorb more tech, defeat the Rangers. And Digitron's like, hells yeah, I'll do that. Back at Grid Battle Force, you kind of think that maybe it would have been a easy transition, not going to the Cyber Dimension. That could have been after. For this, Nate has come up with the Beast X visor that clips onto the Morpher, and they're able to get more armor onto them, so therefore they can use the power of the Beast Bots. With this, it kind of works, and thus therefore they digitize Smash and Jax into their keys, which look really, really cool. They hold on to these keys because they're, the Beast Bots are digitized, and they say that to get Cruz, that they need to get the key onto Digitron, and thus therefore it will extract the data perfectly and safely. Now, this is really cool because we do see this in a bit, but I would have made sure that Cruz had a virus or something. That would have been epic. I just literally thought of this one. Rangers get called downtown and they see Digitron. He's absorbing cameras, or one cannon, but you know, that's about it. It's not really advanced tech, is it? So the Rangers morph, and the Rangers start kind of fighting. They've been told that they have to wait for their visors to come through because they're still being worked on, so therefore they have a big massive fight. Now, one of the I think a really fun moment-ish is when Nate actually takes control for a little bit and goes ready, aim, and they're about to fire. It takes a while to charge up their weapons, and Digitron just blasts them and says fire. You don't normally see this, and I thought, oh, that's awesome. As Nate and Steel have been kind of knocked away to the side, Digitron fires like this huge massive blast. And rather than the Rangers being thrown back, they actually do a thing which I kind of like, which is just the defeated fall, where they get hit and they just fall to their knees, and that's it. There's no kind of explosion, there's nothing. With this, they get a phone call where the visor is ready and they activate it. Devon runs towards Digitron, puts his key onto him, and then extracts Cruz straight away. But we see that Jax and Smash have actually now put into the armor, and this ups their powers like a lot. And I've got to admit, it also kind of feels like the kind of weaknesses, like, you know, obviously Zoe gets too tired, she has to eat carrots, and obviously Ravi, he gets like gorilla strength, he overheats, he gets angry, that all stops. But the Rangers also get kind of new powers, or their powers have been amplified. One being that Devon can teleport really quickly, or it looks like he's able to go faster than he normally has, which kind of reminded me of Nightcrawler, or especially the Flash, when he goes faster than normal. Ravi is able to make things from what he touches. So he touches a building, he brings out a girder and hits the Tronics with it, and then later on he hits Digitron with a giant rock, but he actually creates it, which I think is really, really cool. Zoe is able to jump higher and faster, and she does a thing called a spin kick, and all these sorts of abilities are absolutely amazing. As the Rangers defeat Drillatron, we see that they all start celebrating with the Beast Bots. Now Devon has kind of a cool one before we jump into the celebration. He actually activates his cheetah power and actually turns into a cheetah, which we've seen with like the Megazord and stuff, like when it turns into that sort of mode. But it takes a bit long to power up, but it's actually kind of cool looking. Now that Digitron has been destroyed, Evox returns to the Cyber Dimension as the mayor and then transforms back into Evox. And then Scrozzle tries to distract him. Scrozzle finds out that Blaze and Roxy have kind of like gone behind his back and told Evox all about the plan. Evox is angry and he says that he needs Nate for his master plan. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to do that. We finish off with Cruz giving Nate the blasters back, says he doesn't need them. He prefers to kind of fuse with Devon in this Beast X visor mode type thing, which I think is kind of cool. And the Rangers are all kind of like, you know, this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. And Devon kind of like bonds a bit more with Cruz and says, hey, you know, I'm really sorry about this. I didn't mean it. You know, we're going to work great as a team. Everyone's really happy. Smash brings over this massive kind of party popper and there's confetti everywhere. Ben and Betty run in and say, oh, we heard a bang. And they think that the new mop Tronic is going to come in and clean up. They give the command and say, hey, you know, clean up the confetti, and then it kind of goes around in a circle, tries to clean it up, turns on them, and then they notice that they've all got confetti on. So Tronic then decides to go after them, but to me, I'm more kind of like, you defeat monsters on a day-to-day basis, like it should be easy enough to take this one down. So as they've all run out, and Cruz just destroys the Tronic with his blaster and does another pose like, I've still got it, and I'm like, really? Really? Yeah, and that's the end of the episode. Okay, so my kind of final thoughts on this one. It's not a bad episode. It is a nice one. It shows the more kind of connection with the Beast Bots to some degree, mainly Cruz. But I feel like this first season is still the best season so far. I do think that Devon needs to stop being too hot-headed in these sorts of things and actually think. You think that if you're going to give a blaster to a Beast Bot, to someone that has never done anything, like any proper like combat, you'd want them to get the basics before going out on the field, rather than, hey, yeah, it's fine, just come on. You wouldn't put a beginner player of a video game onto an elite team for an e-sport and just go, he shot that one person, that's fine. You wouldn't do that. I do think that Scruzzle's getting the raw end of the deal. I do want him to kind of like move forward and be like, look, Blaze and Roxy, slap, 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 slap. You know, I'm in charge. Stop being like this. Or like when Blaze and Roxy later on get in trouble, that he's just there going, and just laughing and then just like mocking into them. I would really like to see that. I really like the powered up Rangers. That looks really cool. I hope that when they power up again later on, that they actually use this properly, get a few things in before a monster comes in and actually destroys them and says, your powers don't work. Now, with Evox turning around and saying that he needs Nate, I generally thought when I started hearing the lines of, bring me, I thought he's going to say Jason, bring me Jason, but he doesn't, because I think that would have been like a, oh my God moment. But no, with Nate, the way that I would do this plan is have Evox as the mayor, get Nate to work on a special project, have some like of those robot bodies as like disguised as someone else that help Nate, and then all of a sudden have Roxy and Blaze just pop in and steal what's working on it. That would be the best way of actually getting Nate to work freely on this, rather than have Nate kidnapped again, because we all saw what happened as he became the Gold Ranger. That's how I would do it. That's what I would kind of really like to see more, is that sort of mind play. Or have, when everyone finds out that the mayor is Evox, be like, bam, Nate, you made this, oh my God, and have Nate kind of break down a little bit and kind of doubt his abilities. That would be the perfect way of doing this. But I know what's going to happen. Blaze and Roxy are going to kidnap Nate. They are therefore going to then make him do something, and this therefore Nate's not going to work, or put a virus or do something that will help the Rangers. But that's what I kind of think with that one. So I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that I'm right? Do you think that I am wrong? What did you think of this episode? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. And with that, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.